Hi, Ansh. Okay, in previous video, we covered up to that applications of lens maker's formula or lens formula, or if the lens is kept in any medium, then how that focal length of that lens can be modified or compared with the focal length of that lens in air medium with any given medium. So that application part we seen in the last video, in the last class, right? So now we have the refraction at a prism, refraction at a prism and dispersion of light, and next resolving power and some applications. Okay, daily application or day-to-day life applications are there, like that we have the topics or the syllabus in this geometrical optics or light. So now here refraction at a prism or refraction through prism, correct? So that is, we'll see refraction, refraction through prism. So here, what is a refraction observed with related to the prism? First of all, what is a prism? Prism is nothing but it is an optical glass material, a glass material which can has two refracting surfaces, and between the two refracting surfaces the angle should not be equal to zero. Non-zero angle is existing between the two refracting surfaces in such a way that it has the four faces. In that way we can construct a glass material which is called as the prism, right? Generally you can be observed to be having like this, you can be see here, like this. So this is one of the refracting surfaces you can be observed. This is another refracting surface you can be observed. Between these two the angle is there. This angle is called as a refracting angle, or apex it is called. What is it is called? Apex. Generally we can take a triangular section. If you are made, cut it off like this. This part is made, you removed from this glass material. So this will be form an equilateral triangle, or maybe right angle isosceles triangle, or maybe uh, prism. Based on the applications we can be made this construction, or we can be cut from this glass arrangement. So this part is what it is called as a prism, and this angle is refraction angular apex. This point is the apex where you can be observe the angle between the two refracting surfaces. This is the one refracting surface, this is another refracting surface. Between this part and this part we can be having the angle, that angle is called as a apex, and here four faces it consists. This is one refracting surface, this is another refracting surface, and over which you can be having the one face, and below also you can be having the another face. Four faces it can consist. So this glass, this type of glass optical material is called as a prism, right? What it is? Prism. So if it is a ray of light passing through this one refracting surfaces, and the ray of light is coming from the another refracting surfaces, there are two refracting surfaces through which the ray will be coming out, then we can say that is called refraction through prism. Okay, so that we can be discuss. Okay, so now here I'll consider a glass prism, that is a equilateral glass prism we can be considered, right? And the ray can be incident on first refracting surface, and the ray can be, the light can be coming out from the prism with another refracting surface. Okay, let it be, I'm taking the a part of this just now what I drawn the diagram. From that I'll get an equilateral triangle. Let it be like this, an equilateral prism I'm taking. This is an equilateral prism, and here the angle of prism is the angle made between the two refracting surface. This is the first refracting surface, first refracting surface, refracting surface, and this one is second refracting surface, second refracting surface, second refracting surface. and the angle between these two refracting surfaces is called angle of prism. I am representing by capital A. It is the angle of prism. It is angle of prism. And here, when a ray of light is passing through this first refracting surface, let it be this a ray of light. This is the ray of light. So here you draw the normal to this side. This is a normal perpendicular to this refracting surface. Normal I am representing as a N1. Now here, this is the actual the ray incident ray. This is what it is called as a incident ray direction. It can as this is called incident ray. Incident ray, right? And here this is the medium. Maybe it is air medium or any medium you can take. So this is a glass medium, or prism is glass, right? Made up of a glass optical material. So this glass material has a different refractive index. So definitely you can be observed, if it is air medium, it is a glass. So glass medium is more denser than air, right? So this is a rarer medium, this is a denser medium. Automatically the ray can be bent towards the normal in denser medium when it is propagating from rarer to denser. This is a, let it be air medium. If you take this is a glass medium having the refractive index is mu. Air medium is having the refractive index is equal to 1. So this glass material will be having the refractive index is more than 1. It is a 1.5 or 1.6. It depends upon the glass. Crown or flint glasses. Crown glass is having, it is 1.5. Flint glass is having the refractive index is 1.6. But generally it is more than 1 you can be having. So this is the denser medium. It is a rarer medium. When the ray is propagating from rarer medium to denser medium, it can bend towards the normal. So like this it can be bent. Right? So this is what you can call this normal, and incident ray is incident angle. I am representing I1. And here refracted ray and normal, this angle is refraction angle R1. So refraction at first refracting surface is over. Now this ray of light is propagating from here to here. Let it be starting with the point P. This point I am taking as a Q. This point is the second refraction takes place from the second refracting surface. So this is the direction of ray of light. So now again you draw the perpendicular to this surface, second refracting surface. So like this you can be having here. I am drawing the perpendicular 90 degrees with this surface. For this you have to draw 90 like this. So I can be draw like this. This is perpendicular. So this is normal to the second surface. It is I am representing by N2. So this is the direction what it is the first refraction through the first refracting surface. But this ray is propagating from where to where? This point is, let it be is PQR. Capital R I am writing here, it is capital R. Now here this ray of light is propagating from denser to rarer medium. So when it is propagating from denser to rarer medium, definitely the ray can be bent away from the normal. This is a normal ray. So this is the initial direction. So it can be bent away from the normal like this. It can be observed. So PQR, let it be this point I am taking as yes. So here this refraction, here normal, and this one, this is called as a refraction angle at second surface refracting ray, that is a R2, and this is what it is refracted, that is coming out, and this is normal, let it be it is I2. I am representing. Right, and here if the ray is propagating in this reverse also, it can be passes along the same in reverse direction, then it is called as the principle of reversibility. You can be say the ray of light is in any direction, in this direction or in this direction, if you send, the ray can be propagated along the same path, it can be followed. That is, that principle is called as the principle of reversibility. So anyways, here the principle of reversibility is nothing but when the ray is propagating along the same path in any direction from first refracting surface or maybe from second refracting surface. So this is what you can be observed, refraction through the prism, right? Here this is the first refracting surface, this is the second refracting surface, and what you can be observed, this is a incident angle, this is a refraction angle, this is incident angle, this is a refraction angle. So this part is you have to remember, and I said it is an equilateral prism or glass prism, right? And now for any prism there is a at minimum deviation. Here what is the deviation you can be observed? So this is a ray which is coming out of the second refracting surface and which is named as a emergent ray. Emergent ray, that is coming out of the prism. This is the incident ray. This is the initial direction of the incident ray. We are having this one, right? But this is a refracted ray or emergent ray coming out of the prism. This is a entered, this is a exited. So what is the angle of deviation? This is the actual direction of the incident ray. This is the emergent ray direction. You extend this one to the back side like this. So this total angle, what it is called as the deviation angle. What is that? Deviation angle or angle of deviation, and which is represented by delta like this. They are represented by delta. So this process should be, you have to remember, when the ray of light is propagating through the prism. Through the prism, when the ray of light is propagating, you have to remember this terminology. It has a two refracting surfaces. This is the first refracting surface, second refracting surface. The angle between the two refracting surfaces is called as the angle of prism, which is represented by capital A. And if a ray of light is propagating from or the medium to the first refracting surface, made of the refraction. Here refraction made, here also refraction made. Right? You can be apply the Snell's law here and as well as here also. Snell's law is mu into sine I is equal to constant. So that equation you can be apply here and here to solve the problems. I am not doing that part. Just remember how the refraction can be takes place through the prism by the light ray. In this way you can be observed. Right? Now here prism formula is there. Prism formula is nothing but whenever we are having this deviation is a minimum if you observed. The deviation made by this light is minimum is applied. Under that condition, what is the equation for refractive index of this glass prism? The refractive index of this glass prism can be determined with only two terms, that is angle of prism and this minimum deviation. If you know these two variables, you can find out this refractive index of the glass prism. So that equation is called as the prism formula. What is that? Prism formula. Prism formula. So the prism formula is the relation between refractive index of the glass prism, angle of prism and angle of minimum deviation. Between these three variables, we have an equation which is known as prism formula. So the refractive index of the given material of the prism with respect to this medium is given by here. It is prism formula is nothing but what? Refractive index of the glass prism with respect to the medium refractive index. Right? So right, I can write this one is refractive index of prism with respect to refractive index of medium is equal to, we have an equation that sine of angle of prism plus minimum deviation upon 2 upon sine of A by 2. So this is the equation which is called as the prism formula. Prism formula. So prism formula is nothing but, it is the calculation of the refractive index of the prism with the help of angle of prism and minimum deviation. So if it is given the deviation and angle of prism, you can find out what is the refractive index of the prism if you know the refractive index of the medium. Suppose here the medium is taken as air, then what is the refractive index of this? It is 1. So if a medium is air, that is, you can be observed here, mu m is equal to 1 for which medium? It is air medium. I am taking this mu p, that is refractive index of the prism is, I am representing as only mu. Then you can write this equation as here, it is mu is equal to sine of, and the deviation, minimum deviation also I am representing as the delta minimum is only delta only. Then what I can write this one is sine of A plus delta upon 2 upon sine of A by 2. So this equation is called as the prism formula. Is called as prism formula. Right? So here mu, the refractive index of the prism is equal to sine of A plus delta upon 2 upon sine of A by 2. Where here it is, A is angle of prism, it is angle of prism, And what about delta? It is minimum deviation. Minimum deviation. What about mu? The refractive index of prism. Mu is refractive index. Refractive index of prism. Right? So this is a equation which is important for calculations. What is the prism formula? If it is asked, you have to write this equation. And you have to name the terms which we are using in the equation. Mu is refractive index of the prism, A is angle of prism, and delta is minimum deviation. Right? So that is regarding this refraction through prism. Okay. So now by using this prism formula, prism equation, we can note or we can identify some important information in this. That is here, whenever a ray of light is propagating through the prism, which ray can be made deviation larger? That is a red or violet or green or yellow or whatever. Any type of light is passing through this prism, then which light can be bent more, or which light can be made deviation larger, or which light can be made deviation minimum? So that we can be identified or observed by knowing this prism formula only. So how we can be know that? So that is by using this prism equation as what we have prism formula as from prism formula what you can have, it is refractive index of the prism, refractive index of prism, refractive index of prism, mu is equal to, it is sine of A plus delta upon 2 upon sine of A by 2. So this is what it is, a prism equation, isn't it? Now we can make a modification of this equation by simple applying condition. That condition is, if the prism is very thin prism, that is for thin prisms, for thin prisms, so the sine of whatever these angles are there, the angle of prism, this angle is very very small. So when the sine of that angle is whatever you can be having, it is almost equal to its only angle. That means here, whenever sine of here it is 5 degrees, sine of here 2 degrees, you can write the 5 by 2. This sine we cannot be considered, this angle only you can be considered. So because of that, the angles are very small. For thin prisms, angles are very small. Angles are very small. Therefore, I can write in place of sine and cos or whatever you can be, trigonometric functions can be removed. So for thin prisms, I can write here sine A plus delta by 2 is approximately equal to only A plus delta by 2. There is no sine. Similarly, I can write sine of A by 2 is equal to only A by 2. There is no trigonometric function. This is possible only for this condition. Otherwise, you can use this equation. The prism is not a thin prism, then you have to apply this one. This is the prism formula. So this prism formula can be modified into some other form by considering, or for prisms which are very very thin, there you can consider this value as, you can write like this. This value can be written as like this. If you are taking these thin prisms, this prism formula, how it can be modified? So just to see here, the prism formula can be modified into different form, where the prism is very thin. The prism is very thin. There you can be observed to get here you can see here, that is, so now I can write the refractive index of the prism mu is equal to, the refractive index of prism mu is equal to this. In place of sine, you can be just remove, what you can write here, A plus delta by 2. Here I can write it is A plus delta by 2 upon A by 2. Right. So this is what you can be having. So I can write this one is further as here mu is equal to, it is A plus delta by 2 into this one. I make it to multiplication means you have to write the reciprocal. It is A by 2 means 2 by M. That is what you can write. So these two are cancelled. 2 is cancelled. Now I can write this one is mu into A. Mu A is equal to, what is remaining part here? A plus delta, isn't it? I want to get the delta deviation. Which color is taking the more deviation or less deviation depends on which factor. So I want to get the deviation. So deviation is equal to, what you can write? Mu A minus A, isn't it? Now in this deviation is given by A is common. So I can write mu minus 1 into A. So here this is a very important equation. Generally we can be observed to be having the any type of prisms or general any thin prisms, you can observe to be get the deviation is depends upon the here angle of prism and also refractive index of the prism. This refractive index is modified by changing the wavelength. For a given prism, there is no change in this A. That is, angle of prism doesn't alter. Even though you are applying the or using the same prism, but the refractive index for different colors, it will be modified, depends upon its wavelength. Right? So here, this deviation is depends on angle of prism as well as the refractive index. But refractive index depends on wavelength. And the wavelength changes, refractive index changes. Refractive index changes, deviation made by the light also changes. But A is made constant. Even though the prism is same, different wavelength light can be made deviations different. Because of this factor only, we can get a process called as a dispersion of light. That is splitting of a light into different colors. That is white light. A white light can be splitting into their individual constant colors, only depends on this factor, that deviation from this. What I can write? This observation is very important. So here the refractive index and deviation, they are related as that equation we can be having. That is deviation is proportional to mu minus 1, isn't it? And also we can be having refractive index is proportional to 1 upon wavelength, right? So here wavelength refractive index inversely proportional, but here deviation refractive index directly proportional. So we can be say by using these two, deviation is also, it is inversely proportional to wavelength. Deviation also inversely proportional to wavelength, because deviation refractive index directly proportional. If refractive index increase, deviation also increase, right? So here refractive index is inversely proportional to wavelength means deviation also inversely proportional to wavelength. So I can write like this. So this is what you can be observed. It is very important. It is VIMP, very important. VVIP it is. Okay. So you have to remember the deviation is inversely proportional to wavelength of the light. So right. So different wavelengths of the light can be made different deviations, so even though the prism is same. There is no change in this angle of prism. A is same because prism is same, A is same. But which one is changing? Refractive index is changes for different colors, because of that you are getting the different deviation, right? So that is you have to remember. And here if you know the wavelength of the lights, yes or no? You have the white light. White light means white color light. White light means what? White light. White light is nothing but it will be combination of all colors. A light which can be has all the wavelengths is known as the white light. So a white light can be having the all the wavelengths. That wavelengths are, you can be observed to be having the based on their increasing wavelengths, you can be having the VIBGR. V I B G Y O R. Right? Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So these are the colors of a white light can be splitted according to their wavelengths. So the wavelength of the violet is minimum, so that it can be deviates maximum. The wavelength approximately I am writing the wavelengths of these are not exactly. So I am writing just it is some 3500 angstrom units. So this is a 4000 angstrom units. This is a 4500 angstrom units. This is a 5000 angstrom units. So this is a 5500 angstrom units. Maybe this is 6000 angstrom units, or maybe this is a 6500, or maybe 7000, whatever I can write, 6800. Okay, maybe this changes, whatever it is, 6500 angstrom units. So like this, you can be having this increasing order of wavelengths of different colored light. So here VIBGYOR, violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. So these colors are having the different wavelengths are there. When the different wavelengths are there here, different deviations also there, right? So if the wavelength is minimum, deviation is maximum, because inversely proportional. When the wavelength is maximum, deviation is minimum. Here which color will be having the wavelength is minimum? Violet. So violet color will be having the wavelength is minimum, so deviation is maximum. So violet color will be having the deviation is maximum, isn't it? So whenever a light ray is passing through the prism, the deviation made by the color, which color will be made maximum deviation? Violet color, right? So here deviation of violet color, deviation of violet color is maximum, and deviation of red color is minimum, right? That means here delta V, that is the deviation of violet color, is a maximum, it is maximum deviation, and delta R, deviation of red color, is minimum among the white light, or you can be say it is a visible spectrum. You can be say this one, it is called as a VIBGYOR is called as a visible. In this white light means you can be having the all wavelengths, but in that all wavelengths we cannot be see the all the lights, right? Only the light we can be see which is called as visible light. So visible light is consisting of these colors only, right? So therefore I can say it is visible spectrum. Spectrum means it is the electromagnetic radiation in which the light we can be see, we can view. Okay, the radiation or the electromagnetic waves we can be able to see by our eyes. That part of the wavelength is called as a visible spectrum, and which is in the range of 3500 to 7000 or 6800, the range of the wavelengths of electromagnetic light we can be see by our eyes, which is called as a visible spectrum. So in that visible spectrum, which color is making the deviation is more, which color is making the deviation is less or minimum, that is we are observed here. The deviation of the violet color is a maximum, deviation of the red color is minimum. So this observation is done related with respect to this concept. It is very, very important, you have to remember, right? So deviation depends upon the refractive index. At the same time, refractive index depends on the wavelength. So which color will be having the wavelength is minimum, there you can be observed to be having the deviation is maximum, and which color is having the wavelength is maximum, deviation is minimum, right? So in this way, based on this information itself, we can be having the process of dispersion we can be explained. Okay, the dispersion and some angular dispersion or dispersive power, the definitions are there. So I will discuss that definitions and further information in the next video. Be thorough about this refraction through the prism. You see the video one or twice, right? We will see or we will continue the dispersion of light in the next video, right?